Good morning, and to follow up yesterday's lecture, one of you had a question. Lina, you used to say that you want to know about our life and about us. And now you are saying that stop talking about yourself and stop using I and me. So where is the truth? Do you want to know about our life and us, or do you not want to know about us? I want to know about you, but I want to know things selectively. And what does that mean? What it means is, just like I mentioned yesterday, before you say anything to anybody, hold it for a minute and think, is this piece of information that you're about to spit out to another person worth hearing for the other person? And often it is not. Usually it's 80% blah blah and 20% of valuable information. Well, we are trying to decrease the 80% and increase the 20%, so it's the other way around. 20% of the small talk, the talk that doesn't really change anything, and the 80% of something that is really worth hearing for the other person. What do I want from you? What do I want to hear? What do I want to read from you? I want value. I want something that is worth hearing for me. So if you're going to tell me, oh, I just scratched my left elbow, that is not worth hearing for me. Just like you don't want to know what I had for lunch yesterday, or you know what new yoga poses I tried, without showing, oh, you know, I tried this, and my friend said that and that, and she broke up with her boyfriend. You don't know her, but please listen. And that does not change your life. That does not add to your growth. It does not stimulate you in any way. It can really mean some entertainment, but have an entertainment value. Oh, I have a friend, and she can do this and that, and yeah, okay, that's fine, but it doesn't make you grow. So I identify it as information which is blah blah, which doesn't really add anything to you. So we try to hold it back and bury it somewhere, and give you information that has value, that can motivate you, that can educate you, that can give you strength, give you inspiration, give you... Did I mention knowledge? Yes, but not entertainment. Yes, sometimes a little bit of entertainment is okay, but keep it in the 20% and keep the value at the 80%. Some of you understand this principle, and what you do write to me is interesting. Interesting not as the entertainment kind of interesting, not as like ha ha ha, okay, had a laugh, had a smile, but something that makes me think. And I really appreciate when somebody writes to me something that makes me think, that provokes thought, that provokes new ideas, that provokes growth. This is what I want to hear. If you cannot come up with something that provokes growth and benefits the other person, it's better not to say anything, because you don't want to tell them that you had eggs for breakfast and you went to sleep at 10, not 11. That will not change their life. That will not help them in any way. It might waste their time, but you don't want to waste other people's time just to keep the conversation going or the emailing going. The question that I hate the most is, how are you doing? It's like, fine, and you? Yeah, me too, fine, so what are you up to? Like, empty talk like that, which is a pure waste of time, unless you are starting to jump into something that has more value. If you ask a question, so, hi, how are you doing? And I really wanted to ask you this question, blah blah blah, and there goes some thought-provoking idea. And that is interesting, something that you heard, something that you came up with yourself, something from your life experience, maybe. But if you say, hi Lina, how are you? How are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. Okay, yeah, I am doing fine. Whatever you define as fine. I don't even have to think about it. Am I fine or am I not fine? It's just the automatic sort of, yeah, I'm fine. I guess I can still type, so I must be fine. But it doesn't get here. It doesn't get here. It's like, boom, getting rid of just another 239 email, and without any content. And what happens? Yes, I like people and I like friends, but would I get an interesting message every day? No, it does not happen every day. Maybe every second day, yes, I'd say so. Online or in email or on Facebook, somebody will say something that will make my eyes brighten up and make me smile. It's like, yes. And unfortunately, we're not getting that much from you. Although I throw ideas at you every day, and I'm trying to... Hold on, the father's here. I absolutely forgot what I was talking about. This is durian meat, and the father just gave me a piece. Not a piece, a whole bowl of durian. It's so sweet. It's like better than any ice cream, better than anything. Oh, I do remember now what I was talking about. Do I want to hear about your life and you? Yes, but selectively. Things that make you think, things that happen in your life that create questions, that create interesting situations, some experience that is worth hearing, something that you would go on the radio and talk about, something that you think is really interesting for other people. And if it's not, why would you want to waste anybody's time? And this is not to offend you. I mean, I have a lot to say, which is a waste of other people's time, like this. The father gave me durians. Yes, very sweet, very tasty. I mean, this does not add to your life, to anybody else's life. This is the talk, the blah blah talk. Try to keep it down to 20%, but it doesn't always work. We get carried away with the I and how I feel and how I remember watching that good movie. Don't remember the name, but it was so much fun. Like, yeah, okay. So, one other thing that I do want to talk about today with you is the passive members and the active members numbers. You all have a number. There's 700 numbered people now. Yet I only hear from a few. And what are the other people waiting for? You know the email, you know the line, you know the Facebook, you know the forum. Yet you try to stay passive. I don't see any options from you, so I don't think you are getting any training at all. You do listen to the videos, there is no comment, there is no feedback to me directly, so I don't know what is going on with you. As you got your number recently, you got a task to concentrate on other people and think about other people and whatever it was. Rarely I get feedback without any eyes in it, and it shows how much you think about people. So that I think I started to think about the people around me a little bit more, because I noticed that I do and I, and it's like, there's nothing you just said about other people. How come you're saying that you do think about other people more? It's still about you. Say it in the email. And it shows, it shines of I's and me's. Where is the other people in that? Where are the examples? Where are the stories? Where is the progress? And if there is no progress, what's the point in writing? Just to make up something to get it out of the way. I don't want to see a C grade or B grade homework. I only want to see an A+ or an A grade homework. Because I'm not your teacher. I am somebody who guides you a little bit. Yeah, maybe motivates you, but I'm not there to scold you. I'm not there to see disappointments every day. I don't know how I could concentrate on other people, because for me, blah blah blah. It's not about you. This is what I'm trying to say. Get rid of that I, me, and my. This is when you start to think about other people. And there's an exercise that we tried before. Try not to say I, me, or my for a day. Not to say, oh, this is Lena's, this is what Lena thinks, that's the same thing. Don't refer to yourself at all. Just concentrate for a day in your life on other people. Just a day. Would that be that difficult? Oh, it's going to be extremely difficult. and see how you go. This sort of feedback is interesting. Again, if there is something, if there isn't anything, if nothing happened, if you tried and failed, that's not worth telling other people. That's not worth writing about. Would they write it in the newspaper? Would they tell it on the radio? How would other people react to it? It's like, yeah, let's change the channel. If that provokes this sort of reaction, then it's not worth telling other people. And I learned this when I was working as a TV show, talk show member, when the producer would cut me in the middle of the sentence and say, "Shut up, this is boring." It's like, ouch. That was like some really precious story from my childhood. And at that point I realized that, okay, we have to think about other people, not what we like to talk about, but what the other people like to hear, or what is of any value to them, what would teach them a lesson, what would give them, and yes, in some cases entertainment, what would provoke thought, or give them some sort of knowledge. This is what we have to talk about, if we do talk. And in Buddhism, of course, they have a very valuable practice of wearing a sign, silent, on you and not talking for 3 years. And sometimes it can be 3 months or 3 days for like beginners. It really makes you think if what you say is worth saying. So-called commonly used Western small talk about discussing the rain clouds and the real estate prices in your neighborhood. Is it worth hearing for the other person? Yeah, if you call it information, but is it the information that they can't live without and that they will benefit from in their life? Or is this the information that will waste 5 minutes of their precious time? And we all say we're so busy and we don't have time. Now think about how much of your time is wasted by other people. When you feel like, well, I can't really get up and leave because she keeps on talking, or he keeps on talking about his son. And I'm not a single bit interested in what grades his son is getting at school and that he's like a genius. But he loves to talk about it. And sometimes it is the other person being selfish. They need a listener, so they pull anybody in and sit them down and tell them all about what they want to talk about, be it of any value to them or of little value to them. They don't care. It's just what I want to talk about. I want to get it out of my system, and you are there to splash that out on. It's not for you. It's purely for me. Then, do you want to talk to somebody like that? Do you want to be rude to them? Do you want to just get up and say, "I'm sorry, I have to go"? And that will not be rude in the long run, because the other person is being rude to you by splashing out all the information that they want to talk about, which is not for you at all. What I try to talk about here on our YouTube channel is what I think might help you in a way, that what I think might be of some value to you. And yes, there is a little bit of this and this, and then his story about the dog, or telling you about my life, but there's little of that, because I'm still a human being, and yes, I know it doesn't really add to your life, or is not related to you in any way, but still it makes its way through all the other stuff. Maybe to build some sort of connection, maybe for you to feel that we are still people, and on that level we can identify with each other. Something to think about. Thank you for listening, and see you tomorrow.